Shalom and welcome back to the tea table, my friends. I'm really glad that you could join me today. I believe today's message will be a real eye-opener and may even surprise some of you. I was reading something today about what's going on in Israel, the Middle East, and against the Jews. What I read was, "Look, your enemies are in an uproar. Those who hate you hold their heads high. They make plans in secret against your people and plot together against those you treasure. They say, let's wipe out their nation so that the name of Israel will no longer be remembered. They agree completely on their plan. They form an alliance against you." You know, this bold statement really didn't take me by surprise. I've heard so many threats against Israel, especially coming from Iran, Syria, and a few other Middle Eastern countries, all claiming that Israel needs to be totally and completely destroyed and eradicated from the face of the earth. Unfortunately and sadly, there are so many other countries that seem to sit back and not say a word of this planned elimination of a country and its people, especially the United Nations and the United States. And they are on the verge of granting one of these countries the means to make their threat a reality using nuclear weapons. I once heard it said the difference between unclear and nuclear is the way you use the UN. It would seem the UN is being used the wrong way. So when I read that statement, "Look, your enemies are in an uproar. Those who hate you hold their heads high. They make plans in secret against your people and plot together against those you treasure. They say, let's wipe out their nation so that the name of Israel will no longer be remembered. They agree completely on their plan. They form an alliance against you." I was amazed how true and accurate this bold statement was, and reveals the condition of much of the world today. You have to agree that the enemies of Israel are in an uproar, and they are doing it with such a level of pride and arrogance, not only against the nation of Israel, but in the very face of God as well. We would also have to agree that they are making plans against Israel, and doing so in secret, and plotting the destruction of a nation not much bigger than the state of New Jersey. And what is their motto? Let's wipe out their nation so that the name of Israel will no longer be remembered. Each and every one of these birds of prey nations are in agreement with their deadly plans. Now forgive me if I chase a few rabbits right now, but many of the nations around the world are even promoting the idea of boycotting all products and services from Israel. Boycotting means shunning or refusing. The only problem is they want to boycott Israel and still be blessed with Israel's contributions to the world. Personally, I believe many of these nations should boycott Israel, and I also believe they should do it the right way, which means all products and all services. Now, here's how they should do it. First, they need to remove all Intel and Pentium and Celeron computer processor chips from personal computers, desktops, laptops, and notebooks. Now, for the units that are still working, they need to remove any antivirus software and personal firewalls. Next, they need to discard all mobile phones. Oh yes, and don't forget to remove the use of SMS or texting, because that was also developed in Israel, as was the 4G devices that need to be discarded also. And then please turn off your voicemail service and delete any recorded messages. Israel also invented the voicemail system. By the way, use of Facebook is out of the question. Many built-in and add-on applications were Israeli developed. One last thing for those wanting to boycott Israel: do not use TV or home entertainment centers or video on demand. Do not read books using an e-book or storage space on your units. No electric cars are allowed. And do not take any form of medication used to treat cancer, AIDS, HIV. Forget about insulin devices or medications for Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis. And the list of inventions and services just goes on and on and on. This was just scratching the surface, my friends. You see, anyone can boycott an orange or some dates or a bit of hummus. That's no big deal. But to totally boycott Israel, you may as well be in the Dark Ages with little or no help. Let's be honest enough to tell the truth. There's no way you can boycott Israel without completely and totally destroying your own existence. So back to my original reading about how the nations are plotting against Israel to destroy it. You know, I have an old saying, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And it would seem this statement can apply to just about anything, your relationship with God, your marriage, your education, and just about anything. What it means is, if you want something to change in your life or your relations or your spiritual condition, then something has to change. Remember the definition of crazy, doing things the same way and expecting different results. If you want to get closer to God, then something has to change. If you want to improve your married life or your family life, something has to change. And that something, my friend, is you. So as I was reading that bold, arrogant statement about the destruction of Israel by the surrounding Arab nations, you might have thought it was on the news or the radio this morning, and you would probably be correct. But the truth is, I was reading it in Psalms 83 verses 2 through 5. With the amount of craziness in the world, you would have thought that that statement was written in 2015, but it was written close to 3,000 years ago. Talk about nothing changing. What is wrong with the world, you might be asking yourself? It would seem the world and much of the church suffer from Acts 28 syndrome, where the prophet Isaiah is quoted as saying, "Go to these people and say, you will hear clearly but not understand. You will see clearly but never comprehend. These people have become closed-minded and hard of hearing. They have shut their eyes so that their eyes never see, their ears never hear, their minds never understand, and they never turn to me for healing." Now, a great question about this time would be, so what can I do? I'm just one person. Did you know that a large congregation is made up of a lot of just one persons? So a good place to start is Psalm 122 verse 6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love you. Well, how can my single prayers make a difference, you might be asking? Well, 1 Peter 3:12 tells us, "For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers." James 5:16, "The earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results." And my favorite, Daniel 9, verses 18 and 19, "O my God, incline your ear and hear. Open your eyes and see our desolations, and the city which is called by your name. For we are not presenting our supplications before you on account of any merits of our own, but on account of your great compassion. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, listen and take action. For your own sake, O my God, do not delay, because your city and your people are called by your name." So what can we do? We can pray. We can pray for all situations. We can pray for any situations. And when we are done praying, we can pray some more. As we are encouraged in 1 Thessalonians 5:17, and using all the different versions that I found, it tells us this: pray continually. Never stop praying. Pray without ceasing. Pray constantly. Continually be prayerful. Pray unceasingly. Be unceasing in prayer. My friends, how many times does God have to tell us something in order for it to be a reality in our life? only once. Pray for Israel and the surrounding nations, that they would be touched by the presence and power of the Lord Jesus Christ. And with that, I leave you with this. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'hunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yesemlecha shalom. The Lord bless you and protect you. The Lord cause the light of his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn all of his attention to each and every one of you and give to you the peace of God. God bless you, my friends, and I will see you again next week at the tea table.